Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, November the 10th, 2022. Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Well, it was a pretty good episode today. Things kind of moved right along there. I liked it. I liked it. First and foremost, somehow Dex deliriously shows up at Michael's. I think he was trying to get to Michael for help, but guess what? Did he lose his phone? Because the first person to call for help would have been Sonny, so Sonny could extract him, you know? And my goodness, if Dex lost his phone somewhere, the police could find that phone. I think that just may be a point they're not going to want us to think about, right? Of course, Jocelyn is babysitting Wiley because Michael's still at the hospital with Willow and the nanny probably had to go home. So Jocelyn hears something. So she thinks it's Annabelle the sixth or Annabelle the second, third, whatever Annabelle is, right? Uh, so she's like, oh my God, like, did the dog get out again? So she was like, Annabelle, and it was Dex deliriously walking by. So of course he comes in, she brings him in, and miraculously there's a sheet on the couch. Okay. And so the blood didn't get on the couch, but I don't know about you, everybody. If you bleed on a sheet, it's still going to go through to the next layer of fabric, right? Unless that's some kind of tarp, but it really wasn't a tarp. But anyway, we won't talk about those minor details. So Jocelyn, has him show her the wound. Oh my God, it's a bullet. And she initially wanted to go into Jocelyn mode, but he's like, look, just get me a first aid, get me a needle. Dex is Dr. Quinn. I will stitch myself up. Okay. I just need you to get me the materials. And he told Jocelyn, and you could leave the room. Go ahead, Dex. Actually like him a lot, everybody, right? So she goes, I am not going to leave the room. I am not going to let you stitch yourself up. I'm going to do it. I'll do it. And so she's like, oh my God, I've never done this before. Oh, how, um, can you stand up? Do you think? And he's like, huh? She goes, I might be able to get a better angle if you stand up. So he's like, well, oh, okay. So he's trying to stand up, ready to pass out. And he goes, look, can you bring me a chair or something? Because I'm dizzy. She goes, you know what? What? No, this is not a good angle. Do you think you could lay down? Oh, he ends up sitting back down and she decides to make that angle work, right? Or actually, no, I think she does it while he's standing and she makes the angle. She finishes because he's talking about, you know, what he would like to do. He wants to learn how to surf and so she's doing it there. She's like, ugh. But she finishes it. She does a good job, bandages him up, and all the bloody stuff is in the little sheet slash blood-proof tarp. And she goes, I'm gonna put this stuff. She brings him one of Michael's shirts and she says, I'm gonna put this stuff in the car until we figure out what we should do with it. So she goes out to take stuff in the car. Dex sees headlights, Michael's coming up. So by the time Michael and Willow come in, the place is empty. So Dex booked. And Jocelyn comes in the front door and he goes, Jocelyn, where are you coming from? She goes, oh, you guys are back. She goes, I was just making sure Annabelle the 10th, the second or third, wasn't out messing up the flower beds. And Willow said, Annabelle, So Josh says, everything's fine. I read Wiley 4 stories, and he's asleep. And Jocelyn notices there's some bloody gauze right there on the floor. And she doesn't want Michael to notice it. So she kind of picks up her backpack, but she puts it down over the gauze, over the bloody gauze. And Michael says, Jocelyn, why is this chair here? And she goes, because I needed to study. And all your furniture is so comfortable. I had to sit in the chair so I wouldn't fall asleep, right? So he goes, oh, so Michael picks up the chair to go put it back, and Jocelyn bends down, picks up the bloody gauze and puts it in her backpack, right? Cameron will probably find that somehow looking for something in her backpack or something. There's something, some reason we saw that happened, right? So Jocelyn goes outside and she's thinking, Tex, where'd you go? And she sees a bloody leaf, and she's like, oh no, he's bleeding. And I'm thinking, well, look, that could have been there when he came in because he is bandaged up now. So that could have been there before. And I'm thinking he could have led a whole blood trail for the cops to go right there to the Quartermains. But, they probably won't bring that up either, right? So we have Anna and Dante investigating the scene. And Elizabeth, oh, this was good. Elizabeth was on the pier 55, right? And she sees Esme. She goes, who's there? Esme makes some noise, and who's there? So Esme stands up. And Elizabeth, ends up saying, what are you doing? You tried to poison that guy that testified for Trina. You sent the sex tape for Cameron and Jocelyn. I'm calling the police. So she does call and gets through and says she sees Esme Prince on Pier 55, and Esme's like, give me that. So she's reaching for Elizabeth in her phone, and Elizabeth goes back and falls, of course, and hits her head against the wall. But the funny thing is, Esme did not have a killer look on her face at all. She was like, no, oh my God. And when Elizabeth was down, Esme was like, I wonder what's happening here. Did she, it didn't look like the cold killer that Esme can be for some strange reason towards Elizabeth. I don't know what she wanted from Elizabeth. Does she want to tell Elizabeth that she's pregnant with Nicholas's child? I don't know what was up with Esme, wanting to talk to Elizabeth, right? And my question is this. Finn just left Elizabeth. Elizabeth's wondering what's going on, still remembering stuff. But my next question is, why was she going to see Nicholas? What could she, yeah, they're friends, but they're not that close right now. You know what I mean? Not enough that I'm gonna come out at night with a serial killer on the loose, stand on the pier by myself to take a launch to Spoon Island. I don't get it. See, that was just that whole coincidental thing. She saw Esme, she saw Nicholas, and Nicholas told her, just trust me. Do you trust me? Trust me. So she knew, and when Jordan came to the pier, Elizabeth was, knocked out or coming to. Next time we see Elizabeth, she's at the hospital, GH. And Nicholas's guy grabs Esme. So they get Esme back on Spoon Island, back into the same place she escaped from. Except Nicholas took the sheets, so she's gonna be a little chilly, right? She's gonna be a little cold sleeping on that bed with no sheets. I was thinking, okay, Nicholas, maybe just leave her one, because she needed a bunch of them to tie together to get down. Leave her one, because it's gonna be cold, drafty up there. But anyway, I don't know. So Jordan is talking to Elizabeth in GH, saying, hey, what do you remember? And she goes, no, it was Esme. Esme was on the pier, and she's like, I tried to call, the police, which she did. And so that lets them know. And now that's letting everybody know Esme is alive, right? And so Esme tells Nicholas, look, Elizabeth called the police. They're going to come here questioning you. This is the closest place. And Nicholas is thinking, they ain't going to search up here. They could search. Windermere is a big place, and every time the cops have come, they've never searched all of it, right? So, plus Nicholas will say, I haven't seen her here, neither is my staff. I have security, right? So we'll see. Nicholas is pretty sure because he goes, and Elizabeth is talking, and he's thinking she ain't gonna talk about me. And she's not. She ain't giving him up. She told Jordan, yes, it was Esme, and someone else was there. And then her memory saw Nicholas's face, and she goes, but I couldn't make out who it was. I just know I felt someone else was there. I said, okay, there she goes. There she goes, protecting Nicholas. She don't know why, but she's protecting him, right? So we have, what else do we have? Nina, she's having drinks with Ava at that unknown other place that people go to. What is the name of that place? Right? So they're having martinis. And Nina's like, yeah, Willow's spending a lot of time with TJ, and they've been huddled together, whispering, and something's going on. And I kind of, let it slip that Willow and TJ might be having an affair, and this, that, and the other. And Ava's like, really? You said that? And something. Nina's like, yeah, but I think I may have misjudged the whole situation. And I'm thinking, how do you think you misjudged it from yesterday when you told Sonny and you told Michael what you thought? What happened? What specific situation happened to make Nina from yesterday to today feel like she misjudged the situation? Nothing. Horrible writing. Horrible writing. Okay? It's not like Sonny came home to her and Sonny's, none of that happened. But she just all of a sudden, and Ava says, well, then she goes, look, if you were admitting the truth, you wanted to stir up some trouble for them. And Nina's looking like, oh, maybe. See, no, maybe you did. But she goes, I kind of think maybe I was wrong. Oh, so Ava's like, well, then you know what you have to do. You got to apologize. And I'm thinking, okay. And Ava's like, no, and Nina's like, Ava told Nina that. And Nina's like, you know what, you're right. So Nina jumps up and Ava's like, wait, what you doing? I'm getting ready to go find her and apologize. Now she's been drinking. And Ava's like, but look, don't just take my word for things. And Nina's like, no, I'm going to do it right now. So she rushes out. Victor sees her walk by her. Oh, no Sonny Carithos to protect you. And Nina looked at him and said, I don't need Sonny to protect me from the likes of you. And how Victor looks smug. What? Oh, go ahead. Because he can't touch Nina. Can't touch her at all. That's a death sentence for him. So Nina leaves. Victor comes in. This flirting with Ava. This overtly flirting with her, like better things are ahead for you, like me. He's something else where Ava is concerned, and he's pretty much making his intentions known where she's concerned. But I don't think Ava is really, really picking up on the vibe he's putting down. I don't think she sees it because she's not looking like, yeah, creep. I'm in love with your nephew. What? Get out of here, old man. You don't see her doing that. I don't think the writing is having her catch what he is doing, right? So needless to say, Nina gets to GH. Michael and Willow's still talking things out. And get this. Willow's going to start chemo, right? Right away, tomorrow. She tells Michael, I don't want anyone else to know. Don't tell anybody. Keep this between us. And he was kind of like, but Willow, we're going to need to start searching for a donor. Willow, and she goes, Terry's putting me on a list, for a donor. And Michael's thinking, no, but we need to ask everybody we know to get tested, right? And so Willow goes, please, Michael, please. They're going to look at me as not me anymore. They're going to look at me as leukemia, Willow. And I'm thinking, check. As you're walking around with your hair falling out in clumps, as you're just wiped out from the chemotherapy, you're stage 4. What do you think they're going to think? That didn't make an ounce of sense to me. And I thought that made as much sense to me as her not telling Michael. Now let's not tell anybody else and see what's going to happen. That's what's going to, Carly's not going to know. They're probably going to let no donor be a match. Willow's almost on her deathbed, is going to die in 48 hours before they tell their family, please get tested. This is the last resort. We've tried everything. Willow is dying. And Carly be like, well, wait, what? No one, see, then Carly's going to save the day. Because they're so busy keeping it hush hush. Why would Carly think to tell a secret like that? You know? And comment corner, somebody said Carly needs to tell, right away anyway. Well, you know what? She does need to. But where Nina is concerned, turnabout is fair play. Nina knew Sonny was alive and kept him hidden from not just Carly. See, let's talk about kids. She let his kids believe he was dead for a good, 7 months? Because he was there before Nina got there, about a month, if that, right? So I don't want to hear, it's not right of Carly not to tell Nina, you know what, let's say that's 7 months from now, okay? 7 months from now, let's say, okay, maybe she should tell him. Because we're all saying what Nina needs to hear. And get out of here. Nina could care less. She would see them at his grave, mourning him. She could care less. She didn't want him to even know his own grandchild. So you know what? You don't get to know your daughter. You don't get to know your daughter because you didn't want him to know his kids. 7 months. Same thing. You knew he had kids. 7 months and you didn't tell him. So you know what? I don't blame Carly. Turnabout is fair play. She needs to know 7 months from now. And that's just my whole feel. But that's without the whole Willow cancer thing. Okay. Now that the Willow cancer thing is in the mix, okay. Carly is going to have to tell because they're going to make Nina be the savior. That's just the way soap opera writing is soap opera writing, right? So, but no. So what kills me, Nina just walks through Terry's office door. Willow, I'm here to say I'm sorry. I misread the situation. Now, Willow had told her before she was misread, that is not what was happening, mind your business. TJ told her, that's not what was happening, mind your business. But you know what, I misread. I'm here to apologize to you. And what can I do to make this right? Michael said, you know what? No. Michael, I am not talking to you. I'm here talking to Willow. And I'm like, chick, you spewed your lies to him. You should be apologizing to him for telling him those lies. But Michael, I'm talking to Willow. And Willow set her straight. Wrong choice of words to me, especially since what's happening to her. But she goes, you know what, Nina, there is something you could do for me. You could drop dead. And I was like, ooh, No pun intended, right, Willow? Yikes. So Nina shows back up at the unknown name restaurant, and she comes back in, and Victor, oh, here she is, and he jumps up, and Nina sits back down and tells Ava how Willow didn't accept her apology. Oh, she was supposed to? Really? She was supposed to? You thought she would? Please, right? Please. So that was ridiculous. But anyway, now Willow's still cancer is going to be a secret, but for how long? Because she's stage 4. Anyway, now this was interesting to me. The way they wrapped up the short Heather stint. Heather, although it's funny, that whole hooded person, you looked at the bottom part of the jawline, well, actually, really, that was a man up under there. It really was bad body double, bad fill-in stunt person, right? Ugh. Do a better job next time, GH. But anyway, Heather can't stay away from her BLTs. She came there for her BLT. And the way that woman took a bite of that BLT, do you know it made me want one? I don't like mayonnaise though. And I'm not necessarily a fan of the only meat being bacon. I mean, give me a little ham, lunch meat ham on there. Low sodium, of course, right? Turkey, and the bacon, but just bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Nope. Got to have a little avocado on there. No mayo. But anyway, that's a whole different sandwich, right? So she just, she was in love with that. And Cam went in there, made her sandwich, cooked her up some fries, right? The whole time he's there, he could have called the cops or texted them, but he's busy being a little good pub manager. Brought her plate. She's like, "Where's the ketchup?" And he goes, "Oh, right away." So he turns and he gets her some. I'm like, Cameron, how stupid are you? Call the cops. What is happening here? She's dangerous, right? So when she decides she wants her soda on ice in a cup, that's when he grabs his phone and he decides he's gonna call Dante. And Dante answers. What's what I'm thinking? Why didn't you text him? You could have texted him right away. Heather Kelly's help, could have did that. And so when he came back in with her soda, Heather had the little steak knife up. Which, by the way, why do you give people a steak knife and they got a BLT sandwich? Give them a regular butter knife. That's gonna cut through that bread and everything. But anyway, so she goes, "You called the cops, didn't you?" And he's standing there like, I don't know, did I? To be cute. He's just like, huh. No. He didn't say yes or no. He didn't do anything to provoke Heather. And Dante is already, you can see him in the windows and he's looking and he sees, because she's like, "What? I just wanted my BLT." And she's kind of shaking her little knife around, but not threatening Cameron. Because when she got there and she sat down, they're talking and he knew who she was. And she goes, "Come closer." He comes closer and she goes, "I see Franco in your eyes." And he goes, "Well, we're not actually related, right?" So how you seeing Franco in my eyes? He's my stepfather. But what she's saying is Franco visited him and he would talk about Cameron. He would talk about, his brothers, Aiden and Jake. And, so she just had some updates because she goes, "Are you in college now?" And he goes, "How'd you know that?" She goes, "Franco, he would mention that you wanted to go." I mean, so I'm thinking, okay, so she's not going to hurt Cameron. Would she be the hook? Because the hook said she was out for those who wronged me and mine. Well, Cameron testified against Esme as well. But there was no animosity to Cameron. And I'm surprised because that's Elizabeth's son and Heather hates Elizabeth, right? So Dante comes in and he goes, Heather Weber? And she's like, oh, I knew he'd be. She goes, what took you so long? And he walks around with the gun pointed to her, and she's got her still, she only ate about half of her sandwich, and she was eating her fries and talking about how good these fries were. And he goes, drop the knife. So she drops it. So would you like the other half of my BLT? And he's like, no, I'm on a diet, you know? And so Dante's talking to her, and Dante was actually very, very nice to Heather, you know, because he knows Heather is very dangerous and can be armed and dangerous, but somehow he didn't sense that she had a gun or anything. Once she dropped the knife, he felt the situation was pretty diffused. So he says, Heather, pretty much I'm gonna have to take you back. She goes, yeah, I gotta go back home, huh? She calls it home. And he looked at Cameron and he said, Cameron, can you get her a to-go container for the rest of her BLT and fries? And I thought, okay, Dante, because that's the love of her life, right? The BLTs. So Cameron, it shows he comes back. They got the little bag for Heather with the fries and her BLT. Dante doesn't even handcuff her right there. Look, she thanks Cameron. She goes, great sandwich. It was really, really good. But she did say something weird about not like I'll be seeing you, but it was like, almost like don't be a stranger, which was interesting to me. Like, wait, what does that mean, right? But Dante puts his little arm out. She puts her hand through his arm like, okay, I'm ready to go home with my takeout. I'm ready to go to Darkham with my takeout. I mean, it was like, I'm like, oh, okay. Is that it for Heather? But see, Heather's not worried about going back to Darkham because she could get in and out of there whenever she wants. Look, she at this point probably wants to get back to, she's making a pillow. She already said it. Told Anna, arts and crafts. She's got to get there and finish her pillow, right? She's like, I got to go finish my pillow. Then I'm going to come on out. I got to go hook up some folks, then I'm going to go back and start another project. But anyway, that was it for General Hospital. It was interesting. I thought Heather was going to do some damage, but they really didn't make her do any damage. I don't know. And Jocelyn stitched up Dex. Now, Cameron, when they had talked, this is before Heather got there, because he was locking up, right? He was going to come by Michael's and Willow's to help her babysit, but he got sidetracked. And look, now she's going to be on the hunt for Dex, but not even on the hunt for Dex. Can anybody tell me, where do you think Jocelyn is going to go? She's going to leave Michael's place and go to whose place? She's going to go to Dex's place and give him attitude. Where's her bodyguard, everybody? Where's Jocelyn's bodyguard? I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, okay, so because the killer is just out there, but nobody seems to be able to keep a bodyguard on him. Ava, no bodyguard. Nina, no bodyguard. Nobody's having a bodyguard. Even though Sonny is allegedly protecting the whole city and nobody's having a bodyguard. So let's go to Comment Corner. Steve says, although I don't like Nina, I don't think it was right for Willow to tell her to drop dead. Because the way the storyline is going, Willow is going to need Nina. She is going to need Nina. But she's not going to have to beg Nina. See, that's going to be one thing that once Nina hears she has a child, even if it's, Nina is going to be the one to want to be this instant mother smothering, which is one of the things that Harmony had told, Harmony of all mothers, right? But told Carly that Nina would suffocate the life out of Willow. And Nina would, right? She was good to Sasha when she thought Sasha was her daughter, but with Willow and grandkid, it's going to be a whole different Nina. And she is going to definitely try to put a wedge between Michael, definitely. And Willow is going to just be dealing with living after almost dying, finding out I've got a mother now. I mean, it's going to be a whole different ball of wax. And then Steve also says, I'm starting to think that Victor knows more about the Hook maniac than he's putting on and framing Esme at the same time. Could be. You know, Steve also says Nikolos needed Kristen, Stavros needed Laura, Stefan needed Chloe Morgan, Valentine needed Anna, Nicholas needed Emily, and now he wants Ava. Spencer needs Trina. Why do the Cassadine men need some woman to save them from themselves? And don't forget Victor. Victor and Obret, if Obret would really honestly just turn her head towards Victor, that man just loves him some Liesl Obrecht, right? And Deborah says, should have known Josh would get involved with Dex. She's an accomplice to his crime now. She helped him. And isn't Cameron coming over? Meanwhile, Crazy Heather is at the diner having a BLT talking to Cameron. So maybe Cameron won't make it to Josh's, well, to Michael's, really. And no, he didn't. Deborah says, hope Carly lets Willow know the truth about Nina. Let Willow make the call. But Carly needs to let her know. Carly doesn't know she needs to let her know because Carly does not know Willow is sick. Michael will be shocked at Carly, when it comes out, for not being on the level. And this may make him change his attitude towards his father. It could be that might bring him. Willow almost dying is going to bring Sonny and Michael together because family they do stick together. Seek help from his dad, Sonny. Just hope Sonny starts to think with his brain. Oh, excuse me. And not using the other part of his body to do the thinking. And then Lisa said, Deborah said that comment. And then Lisa said, Josh and Christina will be patching Dex up with his guidance. I know, because this is not gonna be the last time he gets shot. And Carrie Ajad said, Willow had an affair with Michael when she was married to Chase. Yes, different circumstances, but still not cool. So I am a Nina fan. Being as everyone in the soap has done some sort of shade crap and everyone forgets now they look like Prince and Princesses arc. I'm so tired of them putting Nina down, hypocritical. Okay. Without us going back into the Willow and Chase situation, Willow and Michael were absolutely positively together and in love, and Chase was dying. And Chase was their friend. And Willow agreed to marry Chase on his deathbed thinking he was dying. She never, ever would have married Chase. As a matter of fact, when Willow went to Chase's apartment, was to tell him, that she and Michael were getting back together again. Because remember, Sasha and Michael tried to make it work. Chase and Willow tried to make it work. Willow and Michael could not get over each other, right? She was going to his apartment to tell him, you know what? Michael and I are going to get back together again. Because they were married, they got divorced, right? Chase falls out. Willow's the one gets him to the hospital. There that whole saga goes, right? Chase is going to die, didn't die, but they're still being good friends, as good as they could possibly be. Okay. Now dying is off the table for Chase. She actually should have told him then, okay, you're not dying, but we're getting a divorce because I'm in love with Michael. I married you because you were dying. But nope, they didn't want to hurt Chase's feelings. Chase needed physical therapy. So they were going to provide him the best help he could get at the Quartermain. I mean, you know, they went over and above board for Chase. And look, Chase was walking before he even told him he could walk. Yeah, I don't feel bad for Chase. Ron says, Esme is not the hook killer. And I give credit to Nicholas for standing up to her. This person chickened out. So now we can eliminate two people, Heather and Esme. GH blew the hook scene and it wasn't the same person. And this time they left an evidence, that stupid hook, right? That isn't even the real hook that's been used. And Nicholas said, that's our hook. You know, the hook that the hooker was using was from the Quartermain's boathouse. That one there, Nicholas Little, well, this one of ours. So he already knew. Really, he knows it's not the same. Well, no, he just knows in his mind, Esme just used whatever tool she could that she had access to here. You know, so that's what he's thinking. Robin says, glad the truth is finally out about Willow's sickness. And Nina will see she's been wrong about TJ and Willow. Esme is the hook killer, but will blame Elizabeth because Liz just showed up. Where is Heather? Well, Heather's eating her BLT and fries, right? Dex is shot and needs help. It looks bad. Yep, but he finds help. He finds help. And Cindy says, after Nicholas and Esme struggle, she runs out, I assume, to the parapet. I think that was the only way off of that parapet. She must have run back while Nicholas was temporarily knocked out and gone out the front door. And then Cindy says, interestingly, that everybody was knocked unconscious except Heather. Oh, in the car? I know. Heather was bouncing around, rolling with the punches. Cindy also says, how did Esme get across the water? The only way off the island is by boat. She is on the Port Charles side because Liz is waiting for the boat to go to Windermere. I guess Esme snuck off a boat, but I still think the boats would only launch if someone needed to go across. Well, that is true. Wanted to go, let's see, across, and she wouldn't have wanted to be seen. But remember, there's secret ways off of that island. Because how did Oz Taggarty get off when Ava got there, right? Esme knows, she told him how to get off and she knew how to get off. And then Sherry said, great point. I forgot that Diane saw the person and she would know if it was Trina. Look, in more ways than one. Okay, I'm gonna say no more about that. Ruth says, I don't think I see eye holes that were cut out. So the person was made to see what she was doing. I think it was pretty clever. I think she's pretty clever enough to take clothes off and so could hook someone. So she could hook someone if she wanted to, and then pick up a cup. What? Pick the cup. Put the cup. Pick her up over the eyes. I think we got some typos there because I'm not understanding that comment, Ruth. But no, there were no holes at all in that hoodie. Nobody could see nothing. Anna Rihanna says, so glad that Willow told Michael finally, and he's supporting her. And yes, Michael did think she was that kind of woman. Nina had put the seeds in his head, and he believed her. Well, he didn't believe her. But if I walk into a room and you all over, this man's got his arms all around you and you got your arms all around him, and I've never seen that before, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to say what he said. What is going on here? Okay. Esme's pregnant and Esme's pregnant and willing to hook at Nicholas. Not the last time he'll encounter her. I know she's gonna try to kill him again when he come in that room. Nice shot of the hook. It look like a man. And then it says, Anna, put your butt in the car. I know we gotta find Heather. Dex, are you gonna be okay? Get Anna, please. Dex is growing on me too. I'm beginning to like that young man. How crazy is Heather going to be? Crazy enough to get that BLT. That's how crazy Heather's gonna be. I loved your Holly impression. And it says, okay, Finn Elizabeth snoozing. Great daily recap today. Thank you so much for the time and energy. Have a great day. Look, I have a lot of fun. Susan says, actually, Heather had come to and took off. Yes, she did before everybody. Then Dex and Anna, and of course Dex takes off, and Dante comes, and the other guy they take to the hospital. The other guard. That Esme with the hood over her eyes, amazing she didn't trip, and there was no power because Nicholas tried to turn on the lights, and then Esme shows up. And I am like, Nicholas, look behind you. and be ready to attack back when Nicholas says something. That's why he went to the fireplace and took that fire iron out. He was ready. I'm like, go ahead, Nicholas. And then it says, I still believe it was Esme, as she was in the process of getting off of Windermere. At least she was the one who went after Nicholas. Yeah, I don't think she's the hooker after everybody else. I think she's the one that went. She's whatever she's going to do now is her. And Nicholas did say to Esme, no one has been attacked while you were here. When you were talking about the hood over her eyes, I was laughing because I was thinking the same thing. LOL. I know. Goodness, Susan. It is Austin Holt. I saw the gun go off and I thought Dex was shot. Well, he was. And it was just confirmed. It was Dex shot. Well, at the end of the show yesterday, it was confirmed that Dex was shot. And then Sandy says, TJ told silly Sonny the truth. When he wakes up, he'll realize Nasty Nina for the snake that she is, and he's going to apologize to everyone. Sonny will never apologize to everyone. Never. Maybe Austin can patch up Dex. Well, it was Jocelyn. Can't wait to see what Heather's going to do while on the run. All she did was eat, and more eat. So anyway, everybody, that's it for Comment Corner. Great comments. I will be back tomorrow for Fridays. I don't think we have a cliffhanger Friday coming up. No real cliffhanger. But I'll be back tomorrow for Friday's daily recap of General Hospital.